Hello, and welcome to Our Health Urban, the health show with an urban perspective. I'm your host, Dr. Herb Smitherman. On today's show, we're going to talk about high blood pressure, also known as hypertension. Hypertension, or high blood pressure, affects 1/3 of all American adults and is a major risk factor for many other diseases. It's known as the silent killer because often there are no symptoms or warning signs that you even have the disease. So you may not feel sick until a serious problem occurs, like a heart attack or a stroke. But what exactly is high blood pressure? And when you hear numbers like 140/90, what do these numbers really mean? Let's talk about it. Blood pressure is a measurement of the force of your blood against your artery walls or your blood vessel as blood passes through them. High blood pressure or hypertension means that the walls of your arteries are receiving too much pressure against them over and over again. This constant elevation of the pressure in a person's arteries is what we call high blood pressure or hypertension. Causes of high blood pressure or hypertension may include narrowing of the arteries, a greater than normal volume of blood, or the heart beating faster or more forcefully than it should. Any of these conditions will cause increased pressure against the artery walls or blood vessels. Over time, this added pressure will cause damage to the blood vessels that carry blood throughout the body, because they were not designed for the constant pounding pressure. This damage can lead to many health problems in the body, including atherosclerosis or hardening and blockage of arteries, causing decrease in blood flow to the heart and the rest of the body. So a combination of the damaged blood vessels, the increased blood pressure, and the decreased blood flow forces the heart to pump harder. As a result, the heart can become overworked, begin to fail and enlarge, which can result in angina or chest pain, a heart attack, or heart failure. High blood pressure can also cause eye damage or blindness because the small vessels in the eyes can rupture or burst from the increased pressure. High blood pressure is also the leading cause of chronic kidney disease and stroke. So now that you know what high blood pressure is and the damage it can cause, the first step in preventing it or avoiding more severe health problems, if you have it, is to get your blood pressure checked on a regular basis and get it under control if it's high. To determine what your blood pressure is, your doctor will use a blood pressure monitor to check it. The blood pressure monitor will show two numbers, which make up your overall blood pressure reading. The first or top number is called your systolic blood pressure. This number is the pressure inside the artery or blood vessel when the heart contracts or squeezes, pushing blood through the arteries. The bottom or second number is called your diastolic pressure. This number is lower than the top number and represents the pressure inside the arteries when the heart is resting or between beats. While these two numbers make up your overall blood pressure, if either or both these numbers are high, you have high blood pressure. To know whether you have high blood pressure, you need to have it checked by your doctor. Once you have your blood pressure reading, this is what you need to know. The best blood pressure to have is around 120/80. However, a goal for most people is less than 140/90. For those that have kidney disease and diabetes, their blood pressure goal should be less than 130/80. In many cases, you may not have symptoms with dangerous levels of high blood pressure. You may not feel bad or sick until it's too late. Some people with high blood pressure do experience symptoms, such as headaches, feeling tired, or feel their heart pounding. The only way to know if you have high blood pressure is to get your blood pressure checked. There are some factors that put people at higher risk for high blood pressure. They are age, a family history of high blood pressure, race, such as African Americans, Native Americans who are higher risk than other groups, and lifestyle choices, including not being active, eating too much salt, and eating too much saturated fats, being overweight, and stress. Whether it's with the help of medicine or through a healthy, low-salt diet and exercise, or a combination of all three, identifying, treating, and preventing high blood pressure is critical to your overall well-being. Just how critical? Please ask Deborah Ivory. Her blood pressure was at stroke level before she was diagnosed. Listen as she shares her story.
My name is Deborah Ivory, and this is my story. I've been working, doing hair for a number of years, and then, just taking care of business. I never even really noticed anything about hypertension until I went to a training with the Kidney Foundation. In the training, they had taken our blood pressure. Well, when they took my blood pressure was 220/180. They said, this is extremely high and you need to go to the hospital right away. And so I said, but I feel fine, and so I finished the training, they let me do that, and then I went to the hospital after that. But the training and the program, I didn't feel any different, but I did feel different after I took the blood pressure medicine. Once that came down, I guess I was so used to feeling a certain way, I didn't know that wasn't the right way to feel. I felt on edge and, a little stressed and stuff, snapping at my family, and that was probably due to the blood pressure, and I didn't even know that. I wanted my blood pressure to just get back to normal just through medication. So I didn't really change my diet, and I didn't really exercise. I just thought about it, and thinking about exercising and thinking about eating right didn't help me. So my dosage went up. I needed more blood pressure medicine, so I decided that I would lose weight, eat better, eat healthier, and then I began to walk. I was walking and my weight went down, and I lost about 20 pounds, which really made a difference. And I took my medication, so my dosage went down. What I wanted to share is, to become aware of what's going on inside your body. It just happens little by little. We don't all of a sudden just pop up and have high blood pressure. It comes from a lifestyle. So however we're living our life, it's not showing up right away, but if we keep going, down the road, we'll see what we've done. We'll see, like, it sounds like I may have some information to share, but I just didn't have this information just by standing up doing hair. I had to do some self-development. I had to do some self-improvement for my mind, for my body, and for my soul, because all of these things work together. And without one, the other one is not any good. So everything works together for our good if we love God and if we're called according to His purpose.
His innovative research into the cause and treatment of high blood pressure has been recognized worldwide. He's consistently been named one of the best doctors in America and top docs by Our magazine. Dr. John Flack is the principal investigator at the Center for Urban and African American Health at Wayne State University School of Medicine and specialist in chief for internal medicine at the Detroit Medical Center. Dr. Flack, it's great to have you here.
Great to be here.
Yes. You've done extensive research on high blood pressure in all populations. How significant a problem is high blood pressure or hypertension in the United States, and what role does race play in this disease?
Well, high blood pressure, hypertension is a very significant problem. It affects over 70 million Americans, disproportionately older people, African Americans. Over 9 million African Americans have it. It's important because it shortens lifespan if it's uncontrolled. It also causes a variety of preventable conditions such as heart failure, stroke, kidney failure, peripheral vascular disease, heart attack, and even problems in the eyes, what we call retinopathy, and in people with diabetes, bleeding in the eyes that causes the need for laser surgery.
Right, so obviously significant potential complications if not treated. Can you tell us what your research has shown regarding hypertension and your recommendations to address this illness?
Well, the research that's important for the patient population is that a lot of the hypertension in the U.S., though we know about it, still remains undetected. And even once it's detected and treated, that is treated very insufficiently, in the sense that there's not enough medication, only 1 or 2 drugs. So in the national data, roughly 70% of the uncontrolled hypertensives are only treated with 1 or 2 medications, which is really problematic because there's not very many patients you're going to control consistently over the long term with only a single drug. We also know that the earlier you treat, the more likely you are to prevent the bad complications such as stroke or heart failure. So getting it treated young and keeping it down is a good thing. But even if you don't start treating until middle age or older, there's still benefit.
Right.
The issue you asked me about earlier, I forgot, was what's the role of race? And we know in the United States that African Americans have highest rates of hypertension of anyone. If you actually looked on the context of the entire world, the highest rates of hypertension are not in black countries or in U.S. blacks. It's in people in Spain, Finland, and Germany. In the United States, the reasons for hypertension being so high among African Americans probably has to do with a combination of lifestyle factors, diets that are very high in sodium, low in potassium, inadequate physical activity, picking up of weight as we age, particularly in women disproportionately. And I would venture to say they'll improve in probably a high degree of psychological stress.
So lifestyle, critically important.
Lifestyle's critically important.
Critically important. But also it sounds like you're saying access to basic health care is also important because it requires some medication most often. So, oftentimes you hear people say, do I have to take my hypertensive medication every day? Is it okay to skip, one of the pills here and there, even if I'm feeling okay?
Well, ideally what you should do is take your medicine whether you feel good, you feel bad, whether your pressure's high or whether it's controlled. In fact, I'll have patients who'll say, well, I stopped taking my medicine because my blood pressure was controlled. And what I try to convince them of is the reason your pressure was controlled is in all likelihood because you were taking your medicine. Lifestyle is very important, and if you can cut your salt intake, increase your potassium intake, appropriately exercise, cut your stress level, don't drink too much alcohol, in many people you can clearly lose weight, drop your blood pressure, and also weight loss if you can accomplish it. In many, though not all patients, but in many will help lower their blood pressure. If that was all we needed, we wouldn't need the medications. And so the typical approach is you get all you can with the lifestyle. You try to get people to follow the best diet they can. You take what you get, but then you treat them. And the amount of drug needed to treat them and control their pressure will be less if you can get them to do more with their lifestyle.
So excellent. And one of the issues is there are a lot of people out there that are simply saying, I feel great. I'm doing well, everything's okay. But oftentimes hypertension doesn't have symptoms.
Right.
And so it's been labeled the silent killer. Can you really talk about that a little bit?
In many people, high blood pressure doesn't cause symptoms, but in a fair number of people it does. In the people where it does cause symptoms, the symptoms outside of headache are not really just typically linked to hypertension. Things like sleep disturbance, waking up early at night, nervousness, chest pain, fatigue, those kinds of things, poor exercise tolerance. We ask our patients about this all the time, and many of them will have these symptoms, and it is linked to the level of blood pressure. But interestingly, though, the blood pressure doesn't have to be very high at all to pick up these symptoms. And also, when you treat the blood pressure and it comes down, the patients typically feel better. One caveat, in the short term, when you drop blood pressure, sometimes people feel bad, particularly if it falls fairly significantly in the early on, but if they just kind of fight through it, that gets better because most people ultimately feel better at lower levels of blood pressure.
Okay, so obviously lifestyle, taking your medications, it is a silent killer, so sometimes there are people out there who actually have serious high blood pressure that actually may not have symptoms. Any takeaway message for our audience, Dr. Flack?
Yeah, a couple. One, you need to know your numbers, get your blood pressure checked, and get it checked on a regular basis. Two, make sure that you do what you can to stay active, get moving. Three, definitely work on your diet, particularly with high salt foods, because most of the salt in our diet is in the food before we see it. Sodium is the number one thing that makes it harder to control blood pressure, will raise your blood pressure. And if you can cut your dietary salt intake by cutting down foods like breads, chips, pickles, soups, processed meats, fast foods, your blood pressure will fall and fall pretty quickly in short term, and your drugs work better.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Flack. Thank you for being here. We'll be right back.
Here's an OurHealth Urban True or False question for you. People who are unemployed suffer a much higher risk of premature death. Would you say that is A, true, or B, false? If you said A, true, you are correct. Unemployment is linked to a number of illnesses, including anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, and heart disease, and if not dealt with properly, can lead to premature death. And merely having a job does not always protect your mental and physical health. Not being satisfied or feeling insecure about your job can be as harmful as being unemployed.
Being physically active is one of the best ways to prevent or control high blood pressure. For some people, getting some form of aerobic activity for 30 minutes most days of the week is enough to reduce the need for blood pressure medications. But you don't have to run a marathon or join a gym to get results. The National Kidney Foundation of Michigan offers free exercise classes designed to improve your health no matter what your fitness level.
87-year-old Lovey Whitfield knows the importance of regular physical activity.
It helps you in a lot of ways, keep you alert, and you sleep better.
Ms. Whitfield participates in the National Kidney Foundation's Enhanced Fitness class at the Dozier Recreation Center in Inkster. The classes have helped her strengthen her muscles and increase her endurance.
When you get older, you lose muscles, and the exercise classes help me to kind of slow it down, and it keeps me moving.
According to Enhanced Fitness Program Specialist Christy King, that's exactly what the program is designed to do.
Enhanced Fitness is an evidence-based program. It's based out of Seattle, Washington, and the core components are cardiovascular conditioning, which is aerobic conditioning. It also looks at flexibility, balance, and strength training.
The classes are geared toward men and women of all ages and fitness levels. 80-year-old Charles Searcy and his wife Jean have participated in enhanced fitness classes for the past 3 years and say the classes have helped them lose weight.
I lost a lot of weight. I was weighing 244 pounds 3 years ago when I came here. Now I'm down to 219.
I decided, well, if I'm going to go to exercise class, I better eat right. So I've lost 50 pounds and 4 dress sizes. The secret is getting up and getting started. Getting started is the thing. Because usually when seniors get old, they think they sit there and just wait.
Wait on the Lord.
Wait on the Lord to take them. But not me, he's going to have to catch me.
Classes are also a lot of fun. Rita Perkins teaches classes at the Roberto Clemente Recreation Center in Southwest Detroit. And she says the participants are what make the classes enjoyable.
We have a lot of different academic backgrounds that come in and work out, and they get together. We get together, and not only, is it a workout, but we socialize and, just have a good time.
I have friends that come here, my comadres, real good friends, and so it's a nice place. It's like a social time to get together, and it's a wonderful opportunity for anyone who wants to get a little bit healthier.
I really enjoy it, Can't really get out in the neighborhoods and walk anymore, and most of the gyms, I don't really stick to it if I go to the gym, but coming up here, I stick to it coming twice a week,
Enhanced fitness classes give people in the community an opportunity to exercise in a safe environment, socialize with their friends, and most importantly, get and stay healthy. There are several enhanced fitness classes being offered in Michigan, and most of them are free. For more information, contact the National Kidney Foundation of Michigan at 1-800-482-1455 or visit their website. And remember, always check with your doctor before starting any exercise program.
Walking outside is a great way to get some fresh air and a workout. But before you lace up those walking shoes, let me give you some safety tips. First, find a walking partner. Walking with someone can be a great motivator. It makes your time more enjoyable, and there's safety in numbers. Second, utilize a track or a walking trail. This will help to decrease the wear and tear on your joints. And finally, dress to be seen. If you're walking early in the morning or late in the evening, you want to wear light colored clothing or reflectors. Following these easy tips will make your walking experience safe and enjoyable.
While we know it's important to eat a healthy diet, it isn't always easy to sort through all of the information available about nutrition and food choices. So in today's Healthy Eating segment, Dr. Akua Woolbright helps us break through the clutter by giving to us 4 basic pillars to healthy eating.
Are you ready to make a few simple changes for lifelong health? Whether you're just getting started on a healthy eating path or have been on the road to wellness for years, Whole Foods Market's 4 pillars of healthy eating can help guide your journey. They provide a common sense, back to basics approach to healthy eating. The first pillar is whole foods. Eat whole, real, unprocessed foods. We believe that food in its purest state, free of artificial additives, sweeteners, colorings, and preservatives, is the best tasting and most nutritious food available. The second pillar is plant strong. Eat a wide variety of colorful plant foods. Reconfigure your plate so the majority of each meal is created from an abundance of raw and cooked vegetables, fruits, legumes, beans, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Third, we have healthy fat. Eat healthy fats. Work to eliminate or minimize oils and processed fats. Instead, consume only healthy fats from whole, plant sources such as nuts, seeds, and avocados. These foods are rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals. The final pillar is nutrient dense. Eat nutrient dense foods. Choose foods that are rich in micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals when compared to their total caloric content. Colorful green vegetables are great examples of foods that are high in nutrients but low in calories. Eating an abundance of foods that are nutrient dense can provide numerous benefits, such as helping to prevent and reverse disease and increasing energy and vitality. So remember these 4 pillars: whole foods, plant strong, healthy fats, and nutrient dense when you are shopping and preparing food for your family. We're here now with Mood, one of our demo specialists, who's going to talk to us about putting the 4 pillars into action. Remember those pillars: whole foods, plant strong, healthy fats, and nutrient dense. Mood, what are you cooking for us today?
We're gonna make a carrot and broccoli stir fry here. First thing I'm gonna do is add a little bit of oil to the bottom of the pan, just enough to coat the bottom and not so everything doesn't stick. I'm gonna add a little bit of fresh garlic that I chopped up to it. I'm gonna add some fresh ginger. Now this ginger, all I did was take a potato peeler and slice it up really thin.
Oh, that smells great already.
Yeah, we wanna flavor that oil. We wanna get as much flavor out of here. We're not adding a lot of salt or anything to this dish. Now I just added a little bit of red peppers. They're called Fresno peppers. And I sliced them really thin. I took out the seeds and the ribs so they're not going to be very hot.
I love that you're actually building a base of flavors from low fat and no sodium.
Exactly.
That's excellent.
It's going to make the rest of our food just pop. So now this is going to cook for a couple minutes, and we're going to add our broccoli right to the pan. And we're going to add our carrots. So now this is going to cook for a couple more minutes, and we're just going to let everything go. All these flavors are going to merge together and all blend.
That smells wonderful.
And so this, after a couple more minutes, you know, this is going to cook. What we're going to do is a little bit of reduced sodium soy sauce right to the pan.
About how long do you let it cook before you add the soy sauce?
Maybe about 3 or 4 minutes so the vegetables have time to get a little bit tender.
Okay.
And then we're going to take, this is an orange that I just, we're going to put the juice right in here.
I love the combination of flavors you're bringing together.
So it's soy sauce, orange juice, and you know, the ginger and the garlic. That's going to season and flavor our dish.
Really healthy.
And then basically we're going to toss everything together here. And we have some quinoa that I already cooked. Basically cooked quinoa just like brown rice or any other whole grain.
Okay.
And so it's already cooked and ready to go. And we're going to use that as a base of our dish. Put the stir fry right on top. Sprinkle some freshly toasted almonds all over the top for our for our healthy fat.
Beautiful for your healthy fats. That's one of our pillars. Remember, guys, healthy fat.
And we cut the heat, and then we're done. And our finished product is right over here.
Mood, this looks fantastic, and I really love the way that you put the 4 pillars into action. And I invite you at home to really work with a wide array of colors every time you prepare your meals. Really bring in that rainbow for optimal health.
We're almost out of time, but one last thing before we go. I'd like to stress to you that it's vital for us to communicate to our community that prevention is important. The goal is to prevent illness as best we can. whether it's diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, obesity, mental health, or life stress issues. We want people to engage in their own health in a way that's both satisfying and productive and achieves the goal of better health. That means first and foremost, taking responsibility for your health. That means watching what you eat and exercising. That means going to the doctor and being evaluated. That means having a primary care doctor that can help you navigate the healthcare system. And if you don't have health insurance, there are community health centers supported by the federal government in your local communities that can and will assist you with your care. We care about you, so please get up, get checked, and know your numbers so you and your family can live a happy and healthy life. Thank you for joining us today. Please take care, and remember, it's all about our health.
This program is made possible in part by the Michigan State University College of Osteopathic Medicine, teaching and caring in the places where we're needed most.